अस्सलाम वालेकुम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम रबिशली सदरी वयसरली amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli rabbi zidni ilma. Now children, we are here once again with the topic of malware. We are discussing talked about the malware itself, that what are the types of malware, like viruses, worm, Trojan horse, spyware, ransomware, and adware. Now let's very quickly recap what they are, the way I gave you a little time to revise. So let's see what you need to know. First thing is viruses and worms, they both are programs or program code, and they are there to replicate themselves or copy themselves, make copy of themselves, and their intention is deleting or corrupting the files. So this is what is the similarity between viruses and worms. But a question can come in the paper, just the way we have been talking about the differences and similarities. So similarly, a question can come in the paper talking about the similarities and differences between worms and viruses also. So just be very clear. The way I said, they both are programs, they both have wrong intentions, they both are replicating on their own. But the main difference between a virus and a worm is the viruses need an active host to activate themselves. That they are needing a target. But when you talk about worm, once it enters the network, it can spread on its own. It does not need the presence of any active host. So this is what is the main difference between the two. So again, the same thing is explained here also. They need an active host program on the target computer or an operating system that has already been infected by a virus. Viruses are often part of the email attachment, and they require the user to take some action. For example, click on a link and for the virus to be infected, to be infecting their computer. Now, how the virus is spread? One is mentioned here that with infected emails. Another one is the storage medium that is infected. Maybe someone has left the USB flash memory in the school lab. You take it and connected it to your home PC. Your system is infected with viruses. Maybe you have downloaded some stuff from the internet. That is also one source of viruses. So please be cautious. And then we talk about the term antivirus also to prevent ourselves from the virus attack. Talking about the worms, the way I said, they are standalone viruses. Again, you can see the term standalone viruses is described for the worms. They are viruses. In the case that because their job is something dangerous, replicating on their own and infecting the system and corrupting the system. And what they do, they often use networks to search out computers with weak security that are prone to such attacks. Worms can spread through the network without any action by an end user. Now, they can spread on their own. Or, in other words, you can say they do not need an active host. The same thing as we were talking about. This potentially makes them more dangerous than viruses. See, just imagine viruses still are waiting for an active host. But worms do not need, they can spread on their own. They do not need the presence of an active host at all. They can spread on their own. Once entered the system, they can corrupt the entire system. Trojan horses, as the name implies, are malicious programs often disguised as legitimate software. Now, just be very clear. They all are malware. They all are dangerous. They all have wrong intentions, but they are a bit different from each other. And this is the difference that we need to recall, recap, and remember. They're disguised as legitimate. They replace all or part of the legitimate software with the intent of carrying out some harm to the user's computer system. And before you study Trojan horses, think of the situation of the Trojan that we talk about with respect to the something that happened with some Greek mythology. So Greek history is dealing with this Trojan horses, and same thing is happening there, disguised as legitimate, but they aren't. A Trojan horse needs to be executed by an end user, and they often arrive as an attachment to an email, message, or can be downloaded from an infected website. They are frequently transmitted via a fake antivirus website. So this is what is something that we as individuals also need to know and need to tell others also that how to protect themselves. So they are disguised as legitimate. They are disguised as, like you can see, antivirus. They may be a threat can be shown to us, prompting me to download something that is basically a Trojan horse. So that is what we should be careful about. Spyware, as the name implies, is gathering or monitoring the user's key presses. And whatever the user is doing, whatever the user is doing on the computer, that will be captured and that will be misused by the person, and that will be sent back to the hacker. In this manner, they will be able to know what you are doing. And sometimes this is referred to as key logging software also. So just remember, spyware is sometimes referred to as key logging software. Adware, as the name implies, is just like an ad. Any questions till now? Dear children, any questions? Now, as it implies, adware is basically like flooding the user's computer with unwanted advertising. Unwanted advertising may lead to you clicking on some advertising, and it may lead you to something that is not appropriate, that may be dangerous for you, because they are shown as pop-ups, and once you click on the pop-up, then you are redirected to a fake site, and then you can be flooded with unnecessary information, and then out of curiosity or out of some trouble, you can be landing into some trouble also. So please be cautious whenever you are using internet. So you should be very cautious that what you are accessing, it should not be something that may lead to something dangerous. Just be cautious, just be safe rather than regretting later. Ransomware, as again the name implies, a program that encrypt the data on a user's computer. So decryption key is needed. They have taken your data, they have captured your data, and they have taken the data, and they are going to ask you for a ransom money. Once you have paid the ransom money, only then your data is released. Just like your we hear about the ransom money taken for as if some person has been I can say has been taken as a hostage. Same case goes here. So these six and malware should be very well aware of for the paper. Now, very quickly recapping phishing and farming. Let me do both of them together. Phishing is just like the normal phishing that we talk about. Is a legitimate looking email is sent to you. If you click on the email, you are taken to a fake site. If you don't click on the email, you are safe. So if you don't click, I mean, you are safe. But when you talk about the farming attack, something malicious will be installed on your computer or on the web server, and once you are in the farming attack, then nothing can be done. So just be clear about the difference between the two. Phishing is legitimate looking email is coming to your email, into your inbox. You click on it, and you are not safe. And normally, what they try to use such things which are normally like maybe the bank, maybe some investment companies, something that looks to come from a real one, and which are not the real ones. Type of phishing is called spear phishing. A cyber criminal targets specific individuals or companies to get access to financial data or for industrial espionage. Now, this is something that can come in the paper. Normal phishing isn't actually specific to it in who to attack, in who to be targeted, but spear phishing is targeting a specific individual, maybe someone who is a multimillionaire or a millionaire, or it can be targeting the companies that is limited to a particular scenario. But talk about normal phishing, maybe you can also be getting some emails which are coming from the non-trusted people. You can protect yourself from phishing attack by awareness, training of the users, not clicking on links in emails unless you are 100% sure that it is coming from a trusted person, running anti-phishing tool in the browser, using up-to-date browsers and run up-to-date firewalls. So these are simple tips that we can use. We all can use them. Do not click, simple thing is, do not click on the link that you are not aware of, you're not very confident about. Closing down pop-ups by selecting the small X in the top right corner. See, this is again a tip that is given to you. Just click on the small close button on the extreme right hand side, so that you are not going to land into some trouble. Getting information about the email sender by clicking on the information symbol, a letter I in a small circle. The actual email address from the sender will indicate whether or not it is from a genuine source. Again, some tips given to you to protect yourself from phishing or farming attack. Farming, as I said, malicious code installed on your computer or the web server without your knowledge. I mean, here with phishing, we can still be aware. We don't click, we are safe. But in farming, we are not aware of anything. Now, farming redirects the user's browser to a fake malicious website, often by using DNS cache poisoning. This is again a term that I really want you people to be very clear about. Cache poisoning changes the we have talked about DNS. DNS is going to give you the equivalent IP address. This is what we talked about just earlier in the same session. DNS cache poison means that if DNS is poisoned, it means that cache is poisoned, it will be redirecting to a fake site. The same thing is going to happen with this one. Farming attacks can be protected, can be mitigated by modern browsers or alerting the user to potential phishing and farming attacks. Running antivirus is going to be something that you can be that can be helpful. Checking the spelling of websites, be careful. Sometimes the spellings look to be very correct, but they aren't. Getting information about the email sender by clicking on the information symbol, a letter I in the symbol circle. In a small circle, the actual email address from the sender will indicate whether or not it is from a genuine source. So this was a brief discussion of how to protect yourself against phishing or pharming attack. Okay, now again, a very simple topic, social engineering. It occurs when a cyber criminal creates a social situation that can lead to a potential victim dropping their guard. It involves the manipulation of people into breaking their normal security procedures. No hacking is required. See, hacking is not required. It's something that you are dropping your guard yourself. And how do they do it? It's so simple. What are they do? What are they doing it? There are 5 types of social engineering threats that are commonly existing, and we as individuals should be aware of them. We as individuals should help our elders also that they are also safe. Instant messaging, a message is sent to me and the links are embedded into the message. If I am clicking on the link, I am attacked by the social engineering hacker. Scareware, often the using a pop-up message is going to be there that claims the user's computer is infected, and out of some can say some anxiety, you can click on the link and then you are not safe. Emails or phishing scams is another mean which can be used to perform social engineering. Baiting, the bait is something like the way I said, a memory stick is infected memory stick is left, and out of curiosity you are going to pick it up, connect it to your computer, and you are gone. Phone calls. Actually, phone calls, another word that we normally use for this is wishing and smishing. Smishing is for instant messaging, smishing, SMISHING, and phone calls is wishing, VISHING. Okay, now let me type the 2 terms here so that you can note it down for yourself. Just messaging is smishing, and phone calls is wishing. So this is what, again, these are the terms that we need to know in order to talk about the social engineering impacts also. How can we be attacked? Now you can see here, out of fear, out of curiosity, out of empathy and trust, because you maybe are trusting the person who has sent it to you, and you know that this is a trustworthy person. Now, then we are talking about, very quickly recapping, how can I protect myself from security threats? The first most important thing that we need to know is access level. Access level means that you are going to give access level to a person. Like, for example, administrator. Not every person will be an administrator. So the person who is an administrator will be getting full access. The people who are simply the users will be only given access to read, or maybe something to just view only. So this is how we can just restrict the people to access as per their level, as per their own, I can say, requirement. And that is one of the means to keep your data safe from intruders. Second and most important one is anti-malware, and that includes anti-spyware, and it includes anti-viruses also. So be careful. We need to have an up-to-date anti-spyware. We need to have an up-to-date antivirus to protect ourselves from any sort of malware attack. And what it can do is you can say remove the spyware or viruses from your computer. It can prevent the downloading of spyware. It can encrypt the files, making the data secure, encrypting the keyboard strokes also, blocking access to the user's webcam and microphone if suspicious activity is detected, scans for signs that are indicating that personal information is at stake. So in this manner, you can remain safe. Authentication, which includes something that you know, that is a password or PIN, something that you have, for example, a mobile phone or a tablet, something that is unique to you, that is the biometrics. And you can see there are some certain things that we need to be careful about. Passwords should be changed quite frequently. They should not be easy to guess. They should be a combination of letters, numbers, and special characters. They should be big enough. And again, a question can come in the paper asking about that which is a good password and which isn't a good password. So this is how they can ask you anything, and you as an individual need to know how to answer to get the marks. Now, next one is biometrics. Biometrics means fingerprint scanning, retina scanning, face recognition, voice recognition, and then a table is there. But again, you need to know what are the benefits and the drawbacks of each of them. I think very simple. Fingerprint scanning means what is the advantage, what is the drawback. Retina scanning, the advantages and disadvantages, face recognition, its advantages and disadvantages, and voice recognition, its advantages and disadvantages. Now, to these, which one do you think is the best one? Like, is the most secure one? Yes, retina scanning, as is written here, very high security, very high accuracy. Now, applications, door security systems, again, this can again come in the paper. Applications of biometrics include door security systems. Mobile phones are also using the scanning process to verify that the person who is entering is the right one. Two-step verification, the use of OTPs, one-time passwords is going to be a sort of a pin sent to you. And once you have entered that pin, it's going to be there for a short time. And if you have not entered it accurately within the time duration, then you have to request for another OTP, and only then you will be able to access your resources. Another very important mean to stay safe is automatic software updates. So just think, if you have the automatic software updates, what is the advantage? If there is any update that is supposed to be made, so since you have enabled the software updates, it means that you will be aware of the patches. You'll be able to download the patches, and you can get the updated virus checkers. You can get the updated software. Maybe the removal of some glitches are also going to be there, and that is again a very important thing for you to take care of. Check spelling and tone of communication and the URL. Again, a very important thing that we need to know. The URL that you are trying to access should be HTTPS or should be a padlock. And if you think that it's coming from a non-trusted source, so please do not click on it. Stay safe. You need to see the spelling, and sometimes a certain thing is looking like similar one, like you can see here. This is what they normally the hackers do. What they do, they try to hack into the system by using some activities which are really dangerous. This is what you can see here. Like for example, Amazon, they have misspelled the word, and now since we as individuals right now are cautious, we can see it's a little bold. That's why I know that it's misspelled. Google, like right now you can see, maybe if in a hurry you can assume that this is the correct one. So this is what is called typo spotting. Okay, now some terms I really want you people to be very aware, clearly aware of. I want to pinpoint them, and one of them is typo spotting. And we should be very particular about these whenever we are accessing the websites on our own also. Check the tone of the message, check email addresses are coming from a trusted source. And last, actually, now just give me 2 minutes. Azan is going on, and then I'll proceed with the rest of the discussion, and then we'll finish our lesson for today. Just give me 2 minutes till Azan is over. Okay, now we have talked about these typo spotting, how to stay safe, etc. And now checking the email, the way it is being written. Email address, that is again very important. The way it is being written will be a clear indication that it's coming from a trusted source or it's coming from a non-trusted source. So whenever you are on internet, be cautious, be safe. And you can tell their adults also, just guide them so that they all are also safe. Now, moving to another important term, this again can come in the paper for drawing and annotating a diagram. Firewalls. Firewalls can either be hardware or software. They sit between the user's computer and external network, which is the internet. Their primary defense to any computer system, either a standalone computer or a device on which is a part of the network. So this is assume this as a security guard. The way security guard is interrogating the person who is entering the school premise or any premise. Similarly, firewall is working like a security guard. And its main features include examining the way I said, examining the traffic moving in and out of the system. And you can see examining the traffic between the users, computer and an external network, for example, the internet. Check if incoming and outgoing traffic is meeting the criteria. Whatever is supposed to be accessed is accessed. Whatever is supposed to be denied should be stopped. Like, for example, certain websites are blocked in school. Certain websites are blocked by the government. So this is all because of the firewall. Can prevent access to certain undesirable sites. And be clear, undesirable sites means that maybe for you people in school, the game site are undesirable because the teachers do not want you to spend your time in playing the games or watching certain stuff which is not needed in school. that is undesirable for the school premise. That's why it is going to be blocked by the firewall. Can help prevent viruses or hackers. This is what is another very important feature that you need to know. Maintain a log so that the users who are coming in and going out, their log is being kept. Question can come. Apart from this, another way the question can come in the paper is they may give you some features and they may ask you which are performed by firewall, which are not performed by firewall. So this is how, right now I'm telling you how to prepare for your paper, how the questions can come and how will you be answering. Be a high level, like prepare yourself for giving a high level answer. Now just remember, it's important to consider circumstances where firewall will still be useless. And that is if individuals who are using their own hardware and bypassing the network's firewall. Employees' misconduct or carelessness, for example, poor control of the passwords or standalone computers can choose to disable a firewall, allowing harmful traffic to enter. So there are certain things that we need to be careful about. Next thing is the proxy server, and the diagram is drawn. Proxy server are intermediate between a user and a web server. The same definition as you can see here, the simple definition, and this is drawn here. Proxy is sitting between a user's computer and the web server. But here we can see there is a little difference between the two, firewall and the proxy. Now this is the diagram. Now this, if it comes in the paper, this is what you will draw, and this is a very complete description of how to draw and annotate a diagram for proxy. User's computer, proxy server, and the web server. Web browser is sending the request to the proxy. The web browser's request is forwarded to the web server. Web server sends a request back, response back to the proxy, and web server response is filtered by the proxy. What are the features of a proxy server? As you can see here, filter internet traffic, blocking access to websites if necessary, keep users' IP addresses secret. This is something that you can see here is a unique value of a unique feature of a proxy. That is, it is keeping the user's IP address as secret, can block requests from certain IP addresses, prevent direct access to a web server by sitting between the user and the server. So a person cannot access the web server directly. It is the proxy which is going to filter out the information, and it will be sending the request to the web server after filtering. If a cyber attack is launched, the proxy server is affected instead of the web server, thus leaving the web server secure. Now, it is working as a secure mechanism because it is just like the security guard. Can direct invalid traffic away from the server using a cache, speeds up access to a website. Website homepage is stored in a cache on the proxy. Next time the user visits the website, the proxy is going to, proxy's cache is first checked and the homepage is found. And lastly, but not the least, it's the working like a firewall. So I hope that this is a very clear explanation of what a proxy is doing and how is it a bit different from firewall, although the last point indicates it's working like a firewall. Privacy settings, this is what we need to be very careful about, and this is what we all are implementing. We know there are certain things which we want to share with everyone. Maybe I want to keep my profile public. Maybe I want to keep my profile private. I want to share certain things with my own self. I can share certain things with my friends, or maybe I can share certain things with everyone. I want certain posts to be available to everyone. So it depends upon my requirement. I know what privacy setting I need to set. So this is what is based on my own preferences. Maybe some people are keeping their profiles locked based on their requirements. Some people want their profiles to be active, seen by everyone. That is their requirement. So this is what we need to be cautious about, that what is my intention, and based on my intention, I will prioritize my privacy settings. Okay, fine. So this is what we need to be careful about. Then another very important topic is SSL, Secure Socket Stand. It's very simple. It's a protocol. And what a protocol is, let me recall, a set of rules and regulations followed over the network. And this is a set of protocol. It's a protocol that is used by computers to communicate securely with each other across the networks. Whenever users logs on to a website, SSL encrypts the data. The user knows if SSL has been applied when they see HTTPS or the padlock indicating that the website is a secure one and they are free to use it. And this is an indication. Either it's the HTTPS or the padlock. Now you can see the moment you see HTTP, it means that that is an indication that maybe the website isn't a secure one. So be very cautious. This is what, whenever you see a website with the padlock or HTTPS, it means that you are safe. You don't have to worry at all. This again is something that we need to know. This can come in the paper in the form of points or maybe in the form of a paragraph to fill in the blanks that how the SSL works. User's browser sends a message so that it can connect with the required website, which is secured by SSL. Like the moment I open my browser, I type the URL. So what will happen? It will be connected to the the web browser will connect to the web server and will ask the website or web server to identify itself, to share its SSL certificate. The browser then requires that the web server identifies itself, who you are. And this who you are is shown because the website which is an authentic one will have a SSL certificate. And this certificate is given by an authority, and that SSL certificate will be shown by the server, and it will be sent back to the web browser, and that indicate that this is a trusted site. If the browser can authenticate the certificate, it sends a message back to the web server to allow the communication to begin. Handshaking is now in progress. Once this message is received, the web server acknowledges the web browser, and the SSL encrypted two-way communication begins, means duplex communication begins. And remember, websites are performing full duplex communication. Now, what is SSL certificate? Simple certificate. The way we talk about, you get an acknowledgement by a certificate that is given by your school. Similarly, SSL certificate is an authentication. It's a form of a digital certification used to authenticate a website. The website is the secure one. Website is the authentic one. SSL could be used when doing online banking, online shopping, sending, receiving emails, using cloud storage, using VoIP, or instant messaging. So these are certain things that we need to know for securing our website, securing our material. Last, this is VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. Very simple. Whenever you are using internet for making a phone call, like using any of the can say software, any of the apps. So whenever you are making a phone call, not by using a phone, not by using PSTN, you are using an application, then that is called VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. So now again, a sample question is here, but I think this is a very clear, you can go through this very quickly yourself also. And if you have any query, then you can definitely let me know, and I'll be definitely always there for you people to answer your queries, inshallah. So any questions before we finish our lesson for today? Okay, now this is the end of chapter number 5. So Alhamdulillah, we have finished one more chapter's revision. Jazakallah khairan kasira for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have understood each and everything. Inshallah, we are meeting again with another chapter's revision with more material to learn. And take care of yourselves and your loved ones. May Allah bless you. May Allah help you. Allah Hafiz from my end.